I'll never forget a couple months ago, they had the White House press secretary. She's up there. And they say, is it true that most of the gas price increases are because the dollar's been devalued? Is it true the dollar's been devalued? And like 4 reporters asked her. We played the clip on the show. I think it was even the Sunday show. They kept saying, is it true? Is it true the dollar's been devalued? Is it true? Can the White House, because the media will never say, all the foreign press admits it. It's a set number on the world market every day in currency market trading. I mean, it's like asking what the top temperature was in your city a day. I mean, you can go look it up. Just anything. It's just absolute fact. But see, our media doesn't do that. They go, is it true they've got nukes? Can we say it? We're such lapdogs. Oh, is it true the dollar's been devalued? And she said, I can't answer that. I'll be fired if I tell you. I've been told not to tell you. And so the media said, well, we can't say whether the dollar's been devalued in world currency markets because the White House won't tell us. That's like saying, White House, how do I zip my pants? Can you do it for me? Is this a zipper? I mean, this is a nation of total zombies. I can't believe what we've turned into. Not now. It's just, he said there's nukes. He's a liar. Who are those people? They're Wahhabists from Saudi Arabia, Al-Qaeda. And I'm sorry it's coming out. You know what? How about I type into Google, Israel creates fake terror groups, and I'll be on Jerusalem Post and Haaretz and UPI and AP, but never made our news, never made the big nightly news about Anna Nicole Smith or OJ's new trial or whatever the new ridiculous diversion is. And they play this parliamentary game of never letting the people get control. Now, are there some real Arabs that want to stab and kill and shoot and bomb Israelis? Yes. Is it tribal warfare going on for thousands of years? I mean, those tribes have been killing each other for 3,000 years. They're all intermarried. They do their genotype. It's the same group. The Arabs and the Jews are killing each other. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're all cousins. Paul's looking at me with a quizzical look. What, you didn't know that the Arabs and the Jews are the same people? Yeah, it's just, yeah. No, I mean, I'm asking, you have a question? Yeah, no. See, it goes back to Jacob. It's in the Old Testament, the Torah. Probably anti-Semitic to read the Bible. I know I'm evil. I'm sorry. The Bible probably is, and it says they're the same. Yeah, Abraham had one wife, and she couldn't get pregnant, and so then he went and took a concubine, and then that's they say that's the Arab lineage, okay, and then well, yes, they did have multiple wives, and yes, that does come from. Well, that's even pre-quote Israelite, but yeah, but the whole region forever people have had multiple wives. That's been phased out in Judaism, but yes, that's exactly right. Oh my gosh, I'm some kind of thought criminal. It's kind of like Idiocracy. Have you seen that movie where if you can talk, they arrest you? You know, the guy says, "I have rights, I have freedoms," and they go, "He's talking like a criminal," or "He's talking like a," and then they come and arrest him. "He's talking fancy, taser him." He knows how to Google and read Haaretz saying Israel fakes terror attacks. Oh, my gosh, he doesn't like Israel. I'm not allowed to read out of Haaretz. I'm bad because I don't want endless war and killing. You see, because I am for humanity. I want every African child to not be shot up with AIDS virus-laden vaccines and die, which they admit they've done. I want every Jewish child, whether they're Roman Jews or Ashkenazi, I don't care. I want everybody, whether they're German, whether they're from the Sudetenland or whether they're Alsatian. I want Mongolian Chinese to have good lives and their children to do well and to explore space together. Oh, boy. I don't know how I'm going to cover this news that affects everybody and take your calls. Here it is in front of me. Worst vaccine bill ever, 6 compulsory shots for all children. Instead of having a real thought process, let's just have a chilling effect. Let's just say you're anti-government. It's kind of like if you're against war, you're supposedly anti-Israel. And it says the government's going to try to force you to take shots, no consent, and that they'll give your children shots without your consent. Now, they're already claiming they have this power. They really don't. Now they're coming in with their fraud. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.com. Totally packed blitz on the other side.
Methadone for a newborn baby? New dad Mike Ellis was shocked and then worried about giving such a powerful drug to his daughter.
I knew methadone. I've heard in the past that is for people that...
If you go to Infowars.com, you can see the whole 5-minute newscast. I got so much I don't have time to cover it all. I should have covered it the first. But what they do is, coast to coast, in your medical records, if you had wisdom teeth pulled while you were pregnant, they go ahead and take your kids. If you were in a car wreck and they put you on drugs, it doesn't matter if you're on them at the time. They tested her, tested the baby, no drugs. They said, we don't care what's in your medical records. We're taking your child. And then, of course, the baby. I mean, this is who they are. You've been trained like domesticated animals to let the enemy just take your children. Now, you know all the media all over the country lies every year at the start of school and says it's the law, your child's got to be vaccinated. It's not the law. Total lie. D.C., District of Criminals, tried to pass a law a few years ago. They couldn't. Now the state of New York is trying to do it. England's trying to do it. Now they can't have it both ways. I know you believe their lie, most of you, that that's a law, you got to take shots. There isn't. Well, then why would they need a law if there is no law? You see, there is no law. They just kick you out of school and say you're truant, and then they come after you for that. It's a trick. But there's no law. You got to have shots to be in school, so they commit a crime by kicking you out. Key story up on Infowars.net that's linked to all of these mainstream news articles. Up on Infowars.net, top story, worst vaccine bill ever seeks compulsory shots for all children. Activist group calls for defense of right to exemption in New York State. A pending New York State Assembly bill dubbed the worst vaccine bill ever by one activist group would see all vaccine recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention made mandatory for all children, including infants and toddlers. Assembly Bill 10942. So this is a forced medical procedure. And, of course, the door's open then. Introduced at the, and this all started with eugenics. They used to sterilize you here without it, but that got thrown out decades ago. Introduced at the request of Richard Daines, the commissioner of New York State Health Department, calls for changes to the law in order to make recommended inoculation compulsory in order for children to attend school. See, when the con was working of lying and saying it was the law, I had the state attorney on from Maryland a few months ago. They had 1,500 kids lined up in St. George County crying, dogs barking at them, getting shots outside a courthouse. And I had him on. I said, but that wasn't a law. And he said, yeah, but it's best for them to, take their shots and do it. But I said, but they all thought it was the law. And he goes, yeah, I know. I don't vaccinate my kids. Started laughing. It's real funny. It's so funny. So funny. Even if you're for these shots, is lying good? The bill would also permit the administration of vaccines for sexually transmitted infections. And again, the human papilloma shot, Gardasil, doesn't protect you from it. They admit. Go to Gardasil's website. It says, doesn't protect you from the cancer virus. But if you already have it, as about half the population does, then it does give you cancer, a 45% increase. Ha! But again, you won't believe me. You won't go read Gardasil's own website. Listen to this. This is hundreds. There's over 50-plus shots that they are going to force you to do. The group's press release highlights the key points of the bill, and I've read the bill. It says elected New York representatives would no longer determine the mandatory schedule of vaccines to attend school. Decisions made by the Federal Advisory Committee on Immunization Practice would automatically become mandatory. All children, infants, and toddlers included in New York would be required to get all vaccines recommended by the ACIP, whether you go to public school or not. All children in New York up to age 18 would be required to get annual flu shots. Good God. All girls in New York would be required to get a human papillomavirus shot. See, this is going to be the tyranny. The whole New World Order system is going to be SWAT teams coming with it. Notice the cops all over now without warrants or pulling you over taking blood. It's about getting past that comfort zone. The cops don't know why they're doing it, but I've read the federal documents. It's the psychology of getting in your face, making you do all this, of getting in that comfort zone, of violating that Fourth Amendment. All junior high school children and college students will be required to get meningitis shots, very dangerous. Doctors will be required to issue certificates for every shot given, and parents will be required to maintain the records, that's indentured servitude, violation of one of the amendments, and provide them to school and other authorities. And it just goes on, folks. You go read the bill. This is all over the country. They're trying to do this in the next legislative session of Texas, to tell them to take their shots and go to camps, but the cops giving the shots won't take it. Oh, yeah, baby. We're talking hardcore. Roll up your sleeve. Hitler was funded by this country, and he wanted to do all this through the shots as well.
Here's my question. Building number 7, what are the prevailing theories as to why they brought that down with a controlled demolition? We know why they did. We know why they did the Twin Towers. Why did they do Building 7?
CIA, FBI, the entire building was filled with spooks. Every intelligence agency under the sun. There's 16 intelligence agencies. All 16 were in the building. Then Defense Intelligence, Army Intelligence, everything. We know they have the city command bunker. We believe they ran the attacks out of that building and then blew up the evidence. We believe they're going to fly Flight 93 into the White House or into Building 7. And when the flight got shot down by the happy hooligans out of North Dakota who refused stand-down order and shot it down with 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders. I have that from one top general and from pilots. This is vitally dangerous info, by the way, folks. Listen, we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Out of time. See you back tomorrow, back next Sunday. God bless you all. Infowars.com. It's the place to be.